21 folks, again, we're with the birds. Today I want to show you some birds that are a little unusual, again some rare examples, and I want to show you a Japanese example. The Japanese did manage to get in on this market, but not early. But they saw what the Germans were doing around the turn of the century into the 20s, and they thought, you know what, we can garner some of this as well. So this is a little Japanese bird. Very, very simple. I kind of like the little bug-out type eyes, but very, very simple as far as the body is concerned. Not too terribly much molding as far as the tail or as far as the wings are concerned. And then he is missing his little spine-glass tail. If I had to venture a guess on this one, I'm going to say probably 1925, and certainly Japan. This is an unusual little bird, early double legs, but he has a little open beak here. This would have held a little berry at one point in his life, and I've got several of these. This little guy's missing his berry, but I haven't yet to find one that would work appropriate for him, so he just stays the way he is. Probably about 1910, and certainly German. This is a neat little guy, German, but wood. And well done and beautifully painted. If I had to venture guess, right around 1900. This came out of a wonderful collection in Maine about 8 or 9 years ago. I was very, very fortunate to buy this lady's bird collection, and this was one of the pieces. And then I got to show you that leads up to this one. This is an incredibly rare bird. This is metal, like a toy, tin lithographed, and then it is a clip-on, a double clip-on. And at one point, there was a bellow mechanism on the back end. It's no longer working. And this bird, when the wings would go up and down, this bird would have a very soft, muted sound, almost like a pipsqueak toy would have made. Lithography on tin, dual-sided. And years and years and years ago, when I went to a museum in Germany, there was, and I don't remember if it was Salzburg or where I was, I have to think about that, but there was a collection of these little metal birds. And when I asked the docent at the museum, she said that they never had the popularity that the shiny ornaments, the glass ornaments and such had with the American buyers. And so not a lot of them were sent to this country. And I believe that. Quite honestly, I've never, ever, other than that museum trip, seen a bird like this in my life. I think very, very few of them survive. It's delicate and quite wonderful. This is a wonderful pear that I bought in California, and I like them because it's a pear, and I like decorating with pears on the of birds on the tree because I like to do a certain look with them. This bird has got the tail has been redone with feathers, and to some people that would bother them. To me, it doesn't bother me at all. And then this bird, a tremendous amount of the back end of that bird is gone, but the coloration is good, the bird's nice, and these two I got together in a box. They were wrapped in tissue, so I think they've spent their whole life together, and they're going to continue to. This is a wonderful little unsilvered bird, small size, wonderfully done, probably right around 1910. This is the type of songbird that's a very, very common thing to find in a silvered variety, not so common in an unsilvered variety. And again, beautifully done, beautiful airbrush work on him. A little bit unusual little songbird here with what I mentioned in a couple of videos past, where he doesn't have a front-on look to him. He has kind of a side tilt. A little bit earlier, artistic licensing by the Germans, probably right around 1900. He's missing his tail, but again, it doesn't bother me. This is a little cutie that I love. I paid dearly for him, but look at that little teeny owl. So he just kind of props up on the tree with them neat little eyes. His tail's been played with for a little bit, and he looks like he's got a little piece of tape on the back of the tail. Again, doesn't bother me. He has stood the test of time, probably right around 1900. Hard little example to find. And then I wanted to show you these little colorful examples. This is a marvelous little songbird, nice size, beautifully done. A little bit later, if I had to venture guess, probably 1920. But again, wonderful, mellowed, beautiful tones to him. Wonderful little markings on the face and such. 2 spring legs. And then finally, I wanted to share this bird with you. This is a bird that is an old mold, but this was a bird that was done after the war. And by after the war, I'm saying World War II. So what happens in World War II is the Germans are bombed heavily, and it's hard for them to get the materials that they need to create these birds after the war has ended. So what you see in the coloration is you don't see a true red or you don't see a true green. These are colorations that are a black tint is added to this paint base, and it gives them this black looking into the reds and into the yellows and into the greens and such. Still a beautiful bird and unusual unusual the way he's done with the head tipped up, but later, and those colors are indicative of that. Where this red is a pinky red and shiny and beautiful, this red is more of a tomato and a little bit of a black tint to it. When you see enough of the birds and the pieces that are after World War II, you'll understand what I'm saying. On that note, we'll see you tomorrow.